Red flag. Okay, we're only 3 minutes in, Derek. Hello, my beautiful nerds, and welcome back to another edition of a video. That's right, on this little corner of the internet. Today we're going to watch a documentary called Strip Down, Rise Up, which is the Netflix documentary on S Factor and pole dancing, the world of pole dancing. It's directed by Michelle O'Hayan, and it was made while I was still at S Factor, circa 2018, 2017. I stayed very clear. I stayed far away from the making of this documentary because something in my soul knew that I shouldn't be a part of it, and also I was at BuzzFeed at the time and they had some pretty strict non-competes. I just didn't even wanna. A lot of y'all had some criticisms and questions probing me to go deeper into the tea of my S Factor cult experience. And trust me, we're gonna do that. We're gonna unlock all the different levels and how deep one can get into a pole dancing cult soon. I really wanna take some time to get some other players involved in this docu-series. I wanna take a different perspective, and it's taking some time. But in the meantime, I thought I would address a comment that I saw on this video asking me what are some of the red flags and green flags of a pole dancing situation. Say you want to join a pole dancing studio. First off, mazel! Just realizing I didn't clean out this coffee cup.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna. You know?
The Rihanna part.
The Rihanna part.
I forgot about I always forget about the Rihanna part. Despite the yokes that Derek and I are making, mostly at my expense, it's okay. This is a very serious video. A lot of y'all had some serious questions about what are the red flags and green flags of a pole dancing studio or even a fitness cult. And so I thought that the best way to demonstrate and to show examples of red flags and green flags in a fitness cult situation is to walk you through this docu-series that was made about S Factor. So I can show you in clear terms examples. This documentary came out in 2020, right after I had left S Factor. I could only watch like the first 30 minutes of it. I did try to watch it when it came out. It made me cry, it made me sad. At that point in my life, I really missed S Factor. At that point, I had been teaching a Tuesday night 8 p.m. class for the past 7 years. Longer. My life just flashed before my eyes.
I can tell.
It just was so fresh. So I'm deciding to watch it again. So let's just see where this little journey takes us, shall we?
This is gonna provoke you, and it's gonna make you surrender.
Off the bat, she says, this is gonna provoke you, and this is gonna make you surrender. If anyone says that to you when you walk into a studio, a fitness studio, red flag, ding, 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 ding. Because when you walk into a gym situation, there's this thing called consent. And a lot of these practices that Sheila would have in her studio would fall under the umbrella of provocation, but they weren't always safeguarded by boundaries or consent. So she would be like, oh, it's provoking, and you consented because you obviously signed up for this class, retreat, workshop. You have to be very clear if you're gonna provoke somebody. If someone just puts out a blanket term like, this is gonna provoke you, and you have to be okay with it. Teal Swan?
That's the exact same, like those retreats, she'd be like, you're gonna feel.
You're gonna feel something. You know who else follows that language? Acting teachers and acting coaches. Take it from someone who went to acting school. Oh fuck, I just discovered something. I went from acting school to pole dancing cult. So I've been hopping cult to cult, okay?
And BuzzFeed.
Say pole dancing, they immediately think where men go, smoke cigars, drink, and women do lap dances for money.
And that's just a part of what it is.
Pole dancing, in general, has become an art form ushered into the mainstream zeitgeist by strippers, for strippers, and for people who do sexualize themselves for money. If you walk into a pole studio and they're like, yeah, that's them, this is us, red flag. Red flag.
It's pole dance, and it's pole artistry, pole fitness, pole sport. It's different things to different people.
And that's why I love it. That's a green flag. If you walk into a studio and someone goes, pole dancing is so many different things. Bing, bang, boom, baby. It is so many different things. It takes its root from sex workers, but it has since grown into so many different things. The fact that this person goes, pole dancing is everything, it's anything, it's what you want it to be, that's a green flag because it's the truth.
And if you judge here, I'm gonna ask you to leave. Baby, this is not for sissies.
Red flag. Okay, we're only 3 minutes in, Derek. Maybe this is just sensationalized editing with the juiciest sound bites at the top. If somebody comes to you, if you're like, my class isn't for sissies. In the context of what you're trying to sell, body empowerment, female sexuality, you shouldn't say that. So if somebody says to you, like, this boot camp class isn't for sissies, yeah, sure, I can get from CrossFit or boot camp that this is going to, be hard. The female empowerment class should probably be more inviting and inclusive.
I want to introduce you to Allie, who will be co-teaching with me.
Allie was my teacher, and I love her. Allie is the real spirit of S Factor in all the good ways. Allie is a green flag. Allie will always be a green flag. I love you, Allie.
I'm Sheila, and it's my life mission to help bring women back into their wholeness.
Red flag. Someone says that they're going to bring you into your wholeness. They are going to bring you into your wholeness. It's a red flag. Only you can make yourself whole. This is that word salad that I'm talking about. I'm gonna bring you into your wholeness. And if you say it with confidence, people are like, oh, right, okay.
I'm gonna teach you to walk S Factor style.
It is so painful because class S Factor, we would do it with the lights off. Mostly, it would be like really low lighting, red lights. And that really helps people get out of their heads. Also in the studio, we didn't have any mirrors, which I really love. I think those are green flags about the experience. So it's painful to watch this documentary in like the first class, and all these women are practicing in like full light.
Oh my God, everybody's so pretty. Like, what am I looking like right now? So.
She asked you a question. Yeah, how's she looking right now?
And that's something I miss. I do love that about S Factor. It gave me the permission to look at other women in a non-judgmental way. This space really taught me how to celebrate every woman. Chicken is underdog. Derek's out. He's done. He's like, I cannot.
Crying. I can't.
Kelsey.
We needed that. Can we start every single meeting like that?
And she would. If Sheila didn't like anything you would say, she'd be like, get on the pole. Let me see what your body has to say.
Oh.
And then she'd be like, you're living in your masculine. You're living in your masculine. You're not being truthful. I know.
So that's a red flag.
Yeah. So
Living in your masculine.
Yeah, it's also a red flag if you go in and to have a meeting with like your boss and they're like, let me see you move.
And you're going to close the door. And then you're going to turn around.
Oh wait. So that trick traditionally is called the fireman. Sheila took all the masculine language off of the names of tricks. So instead of Superman, which is a common pole trick, she called it the Superwoman. So going into pole spaces when I first started out, I'd be like, yeah, that's a firefly. And other pole artists would be like, bitch, what? There are some like variations on what you call tricks. Usually you try not to rebrand or rename tricks because that's kind of what we call erasure. You know what I mean? If the teacher's like, yes, we're gonna cheer for each other, woo, let's go. That's a good thing. You know, we do love to cheer for each other, but know that they are slightly manipulating you to keep your energy up, to keep you high, to keep you euphoric. It's the same manipulation level as groupthink. If you're in a group, if you're in a crowd and you're cheering, woo, you're all cheering. It's like a tiny loss of ego. There's nothing wrong with it. Just know that it's happening.
My husband, Terry, March 6th was 1.5 years that he's been gone.
Let the sob happen. Just sob for a second. And there's no shame here. There's no cutting back sobbing. You're grieving. But what your body needs to do is move emotion through it.
Okay, so I feel so many kinds of ways because obviously there are people who come to S Factor for so many different reasons. And a lot of times, myself included, people would come to S Factor because they're hurting. I think sometimes pain can become frozen in your body. I mean, the body has muscle memory. You see it with people who suffer from PTSD. Our body holds on to memories and sometimes keeps us in looping patterns. Now, I'm somebody who's done group therapy before, and in a group therapy situation, folks like care professionals are very careful to make sure that if triggering is happening, we're not triggering each other. It does happen, but like we mitigate, we take breaths. She's about to really let out some pretty deep emotion. And Sheila seizes upon this moment. This is what would often happen in class. And this is how nuanced it gets. Like, I don't think she's wrong by saying move pain through you. Like, find movement when you're hurting. But in this scenario, there's cameras, there's lights, there's a bunch of women just watching her. It's not a safe space to really move through this trauma. These scenarios were created more for Sheila's benefit than for the actual students.
Crawl over to me. Slow, you know how to do this. Yes!
Maybe if someone tells you to crawl over to me when you're in the middle of having a mini breakdown, maybe that's a red flag. Let's just say that's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a red flag.
Are you sick and tired yet?
Yeah, which is why I'm here.
Right now you're living with the critical masculine mind. And a critical masculine mind sees the world with a critical masculine gaze that measures everything.
Bullshit! Maybe if a pole studio tries to like commit things to like gender like this, like, oh, it's a critical masculine mind. So are you saying that women can't be critical? I remember being really confused when things like this were said to me. Sheila would say stuff to me like, you're living in your masculine. I would be so confused because I'd be like, I thought I'm Devin. It's a red flag when someone identifies something about yourself, but it's just yourself. You know what I mean? You can't divorce yourself from who you are.
That's what I believe, that I danced my way through cancer.
Oh, I miss it. I do. And it's so weird and fucked.
Every woman who walks in that door is coming here to, at the very least, get into her sexuality and her body. So she's signing up for this. I know she's not asking for emotional pain, but she's trying to move beyond that.
She's a new character. We don't know her. Her name is Dr. Emily Berman. This scene was shot like way after the rest of this movie.
I can tell.
You can tell. Also, she's no longer a doctor. T! If you want to watch more of Strip Down, Rise Up and put in the comments your thoughts, please do. I think I've had enough for today. I'm at like intellectual crossroads in general when it comes to S Factor because it did save my life and it did help me. I think the elements that helped me are like fitness training and community. I don't necessarily think it was S Factor restoring my wholeness. I hope that this little deep dive in this documentary helped illuminate how subtle and covert some of this like fitness cult manipulation can be. When you really work and push yourself to a certain level and you're also being primed by a teacher, no, these emotions are gonna come out. You're gonna be provoked. It makes you believe that this is the only way to save you. In the future, in a perfect world, something like S Factor could exist in a safe, boundary way. All I can say is these are the things and themes that I've been thinking about for the past 2 years. And maybe it's just as simple as dance therapy needs to become more of a cultural mainstream, or sports therapy needs to become more of a cultural mainstream. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little tea sesh. Thank you to everyone who's watching this and for being so patient and curious as I unpack these things publicly. I don't want to be the person on YouTube who's going, I'm just asking questions. But I am still asking a lot of questions about this personal experience, this company that I committed 10 years of my life to. Thank you for being so kind in your comments. I really appreciate y'all, and I really am excited to talk more. All right, my beautiful nerds, I love you so much. We love you so much.
We love you.
And we'll see you next week.
And what?
So beautiful.
Yeah.
in your Ivy Park shorts.
Oh. These.